is it any different? I'm not talking about COVID. I'm not talking about protocol, just vibe, confidence, how the guys are speaking. Is there a different vibe in the dressing room, or is it kind of being business as usual? Like, especially with Rick talking around it now for a full year. What's it been like?
Well, it's actually interesting that, like, I'm working on an article kind of about that, like what the vibe is in
Hmm.
the room. So I talked to several players about it today, um, and it is like what we see, what you see in like interviews and stuff like that is they're very businesslike, very down to brass tacks. Like
Yeah.
they are, you ask them, oh, well, that was a really good game. You played really well. It's like, yeah, we'll look at the video and we'll look at what we did wrong. And it's like, you just had a great win. And but it's a very interesting vibe within the room that it is as businesslike as it seems. Um,
Mm.
it's they're just very focused on the task at hand, to the point that one of the things that I was asking the players today is like, are you guys having fun? Like, is this fun? And like they're all saying, well, yeah, it's fun. We're
Yeah.
absolutely having fun. But it's a very interesting kind of fun.
Yeah.
Ian Cole talked about today. He talked about how it's like you do whatever you like, whatever keeps you happy, keeps you things light, and keeps you relaxed. But at 7:07, when that puck drops, it's
Yeah.
business time. Like we're not fooling around anymore. When the puck drops, we're down to business. And I think you see that as well when the team wins. They're celebrating, they're happy, the music's pumping in the room. As soon as the music turns off in the room, straight back down to business. And so it's a very interesting vibe for sure. Um, so and it is
Wow.
different from last year. Last year was the last several seasons, of course, have been pretty tough as a
Yeah.
whole. The mood in the room is often very low because they were losing so much, and it's not fun. Like Tyler Myers today, when I talked to him about it, he was just like, yeah, winning's fun. Last season it was not as not as much fun as this season. So winning solves a lot of things, but I think they've gotten to this point by being so focused, and they're not letting themselves get sidetracked at all. They're having
Yeah.
fun in the moment, but as soon as that moment passes, they're going, okay, how do we get better for next game? It is it is as business like in that room as it seems from the outside.
Well, great answer, Daniel. Thank you for taking us behind the curtain there. Even it's funny you mentioned Tyler Myers, because even in the Vancouver Canucks Twitter account showed, he was laughing, he was giggling, he was talking about, hey, didn't you see me? I played the whole game, which we knew he didn't. Yeah, it was really funny actually. You could just tell he was relaxed and happy and excited to get back
Mhm.
to playing and to being with his teammates.
Yeah, but even within that, it was interesting kind of talking to him about how he was still analyzing. Even when he was out of the lineup,
Um,
even when he was injured, he was still analyzing and going, well, this is what we're doing right. This is what we're doing wrong. This is how
right.
I can improve. This is how I can contribute when I'm back in the lineup. So it's like they are having fun. Things
Yeah.
are pretty light in that room. It's not like there's anything dour or grim in the room.
Mhm.
But even talking to players that normally they might joke around a little bit. Things are pretty serious when you talk to them. It's
Yeah.
an interesting vibe in that room for sure. But it does feel like I know they use that unfinished business slogan that kind of people poked fun at a little bit, but it legitimately this season, the entire season kind of feels like that, because they're like, okay, we have
Right.
this, we have to win in the regular season, but that's not the
Right.
real business that we have to get to. That
Right.
comes
Right.
later. We're really focused on game by game, but we just want to get to the playoffs and succeed there.
And I presume that unfinished business, or that business as usual, comes from what they always refer to as their leadership group, who I presume are guys like JT Miller and Quinn Hughes and PD and Myers. Is that fair to say?
I think that is fair to say. I think a lot of it
Yeah.
comes from the coaching staff as well, just kind
Yeah.
of going like, hey, if like the leadership group knows where they want to go. Like Pedersen
Yeah.
in particular, he's like, before he got to the NHL, he was used to winning. He
Yeah.
he was very used to winning. And I think this has been a very frustrating time for him. And I think part of the reason why he waited to sign was he did want to see some proof that, yeah,
Mhm.
this team can succeed the way it is currently constructed. Like, this team can win games. This team can potentially go far in the playoffs. And I
Yeah.
think that leadership group, like, they want to succeed. And I think the coaching staff has taken that and gone, okay, if this is where you want to get to, this is what you have to do.
Mm.
You know, this is the approach that you have to have. This is the culture that you have to build. This is what you have to do. So I think that coaching staff has taken that leadership's desire and given it structure. And I know structure is such a word for the Canucks this season, but I'm not talking about like on ice structure. I'm literally talking about like off ice structure. This is the structure
Yes.
you need. Some call it culture, whatever you want to call it. If you want to get to this level and you say you do, here's what you have to do to get there.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Friends in the chat, thank you for being so patient. Daniel, thank you for answering all those questions so well. We got last 10 minutes. Daniel has graciously offered to answer your questions. You got to get through me, though. Canuck Clay is screening them. But yes, put your questions in the chat. And Daniel, very quick answer, please, just while we're waiting for a couple of questions. Who's your favorite Canuck player to deal with when it comes to media, asking questions, and giving you good answers?
Right now, it's probably Ian Cole. He's
Nice.
he's been around for a long time. He knows how to answer questions thoroughly and in an interesting way. He's got an interesting perspective from years playing for Stanley Cup teams too. So he's great to talk to. He's like a go-to. If the team loses, he's a guy to talk to because he'll give a great perspective on that. Haven't had to talk to him after a loss too often this season, which is nice.
Good. Good.